Hello lovely mamas and papas. I want to share with you tonight how I've helped Ayo heal from a stressful event. So what happened is that was a few days ago. We went to the beach here in Australia and we both got stung by a bluebottle. Right, so if you're not in Australia, the bluebottles, they are little jellyfish with long blue tentacles, and they're very painful. It's like a burn. You've got blisters very soon popping up, and yeah, that was the first time that happened to us. And it was just a small one, was just on our hands, but still Ayo was just screaming in pain for like 10-15 minutes after she got stung. And you know, so that she physically healed, that was all good. But 2 days later we went back to the beach and she was a bit intense in the water. She would scream really loudly right next to my ears, which she knows I don't like. She was very agitated. She was not relaxed in the water, and I was like, what is going on today? And I have realized that it was the first time since she got stung that she was back in the water. So I've realized that, you know, I hadn't played with her to help her heal from that. And so she was still carrying some of the trauma of being stung, right? And when I talk about trauma is usually some kind of event that happens that is too fast, too soon, too intense, and so we don't have control and power over that event, right? So the feeling of powerlessness when there is a trauma happening or a stressful event is huge, right? She was feeling very powerless in the water. She was just suddenly stung. She couldn't do anything about it. She had no power over the jellyfish, right? And the second thing around trauma is that she didn't have enough time to protect herself or to be protected, right? It just happened suddenly. We just realized we were in pain. The jellyfish was right here. It was too late, right? So the lack of power and control over the situation and the lack of time are two big components in trauma, right? When something stressful happens like this. So through play, we can help our children heal their fears and help them regulate their nervous system a bit better by giving them this sense of power and control that they didn't have during the traumatic event, and by giving them the time to recreate the situation so they have the time to protect themselves or to be protected, right? And we can do that through play, because play is how kids just process everything and how they heal as well, right? So it's true for a jellyfish or bluebottle sting, but it's also true if your child got scared by a dog barking or I don't know, whatever has happened. We can play with that and help our child heal from that, right? Because, you know, when they get through something traumatic like that, their nervous system gets a bit dysregulated, right? There's lots of fight or flight energy that was coming up during the event to fight or flight, right, against the traumatic thing, but they didn't have the time to use this energy and actually protect themselves, right? And so that fight or flight energy is still there in their system, and this is why children that went through traumatic event and haven't healed yet can feel really out of control and really agitated and all over the place and have a hard time regulating again and calming down easily, right? So I want to share with you guys, good evening Laura. I want to share with you guys what I've done to help Ayo heal from the jellyfish, the bluebottle sting. So the first thing, as I mentioned, is that we want to give our children their sense of power and control back, right? Because that was really missing during the traumatic event. So we can do this by offering them to become the source of fear, right? So if your child got scared by a dog, he can pretend to be the dog. My daughter was pretending to be the jellyfish. So when they do that, they are the one in control and in power, because they become the scary thing, right? They're not scared by it, they are the thing, and they can control the movement and everything it does, right? So that's very powerful, to offer your child the position of the thing they are scared of. So what I did today is that I used some wool that looks blue, just to represent a jellyfish. I was inspired by that by my colleague Kate Surf. And at first I was using it, but very soon she grabbed it off my hands and she became the jellyfish, and she was chasing me, and I was acting really scared, right? I was pretending to, there's a jellyfish, and she would chase me around the house with the jellyfish. And that was very empowering for her, right? Because she was the one in control, so that's very healing. But also she was laughing at my silly, scary face and acting, right? And laughter is very healing for kids, right? Through laughter they release feelings, especially around fear and embarrassment. So laughter is great. So if you can act all silly, goofy, and play the weak one, hello beautiful, play the weak one, the one who is scared, uncoordinated, and let your child be the one in power and having control over the situation, that is really healing for the child, right? Don't underestimate the power of play. For a child, play is how he just deals with everything and processes everything. So play is really, really powerful, right? We call this kind of games power reversal, right? Because we give the child the power, right? So so if your child got scared by a dog, let him be the dog and let him chase you, woof, woof, and you act really scared. There's a dog chasing me, right? And let him laugh and laugh and laugh. This is really healing, right? Now, if you want to take things even further, and I'm gonna share that with you guys. That's more like play therapy kind of thing, but when the child goes through a traumatic event like that, as I said, their body in this moment, so when Ayo got stung by the jellyfish, her body probably wanted to get out of here as fast as possible, right? She wanted to run away from here. And that's what we call a motor response, right? There was a trauma coming to her, was something painful, and her motor response that wanted to happen was to run away or to push it, right? So to fight or to flight, to run away. But she couldn't do that. That was too fast. The thing was on her. So those fight or flight responses are still they were still there in her body and creating this agitation and the loud screaming and the all over the place kind of behavior, right? So what I wanted to invite her to do today through play and fun was for her to complete the motor responses that were not complete, right? So what I did was that at first, that I was pretending to be the jellyfish. And I was making sure, and that's something very important if you play with your child around his fears, is to not be truly scary, right? You don't want to re-traumatize the child by being a very scary dog or a very scary jellyfish, right? So I was just sitting on the ground and I was just doing this, like this. Oh, there's a jellyfish coming, right? I was just chasing her with the jellyfish. I was just like this. And that was very interesting to see how she reacted. At first she said, "There's another child in the water, there's a 2-year-old baby in the water." I'm like, interesting. So she's putting someone that is younger than her, that would be more scared than her, so she could feel a bit more powerful than the 2-year-old child in the water, right? So she brought a doll, saying this is a 2-year-old child, and she's very scared. And what she did with that doll is that she ran and put the doll on the couch, hiding behind the sheet of the couch, right? I'm like, she's completing the motor response of running towards safety, right? And she did that with 2 dolls. And then she became empowered enough for her physically to run away. So I was again just sitting like this and pretending to be the jellyfish, and she ran away. She ran from the kitchen to the couch many times, and I made sure that she understood the couch was a safe place and the kitchen was a safe place, right? I was not going with the jellyfish where she was feeling safe. So I told her, this is the safe place for you. You can run there anytime. And the jellyfish is only staying on the carpet, right? So I was not moving, and she could run away. And I really felt that she was completing the motor responses that were left incomplete during the trauma, if that makes sense, right? Let me know if that makes sense, because it can be a little technical when we're not used to this vocabulary. And so that's something that is really important to do when we're helping our children, is to not become the scary thing, right? But instead to let them be the scary thing, and we act all weak and scared and create that laughter in them. And also to really slow things down. To slow things down so they can feel more in control, feel more in power, and they can do with us playfully what they couldn't do during the traumatic event, right? Which was running away or pushing away. Ayo had a little bit as well during the play, a bit of anger release. She just started to hit the door and hit with her feet the door as well that was there. So that was just a healthy anger release. That was part of, when you get traumatized, then, well, it's a big word, traumatized, but it was traumatic for her. When you get scared and stank and it hurts, there is anger created there, right? So she needed to let some of this anger out as well. So that was just beautiful to observe that. And I've recorded the whole thing, and this video I will explain it. It will be part of the online course that I'm creating about playful discipline and healing trauma through play with our kids. You'll see exactly how the whole thing went, and yeah, it was really, really great. So that's what I want to invite you to try. If your child is scared of something, let him become the thing that he's scared of, just so he feels powerful and in control, and give him your full attention, being as scared and goofy and fun as you can. And yeah, that can be really, really healing for your child. He might release some anger, or he might have a cry after that, right? This is just emotion processing, and this is all very positive. So yeah, if you go through anything like that, let me know how you go, how it is for you to help your child through that. And let me know if you have any question or any comments. I hope this video is helpful again, and I will see you soon for another video. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.